Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an episode of Expert Reviews. We're here with the Rinoceronte, played by Tiger Dax, by the looks of it, on Leuenberg. This was a replay sent to replays.wallst at yahoo.co.uk. I've not seen it, don't know what's going to happen, so I'm going to tell you what he did right, what the enemy team did right, what he could have done better, what the enemy team could have done better, and hopefully we'll have a good time as well. What can I gather from just loading in here? Well, immediately, looking at the hit pool, I see you 2,100 hit points. Now, it's not using improved hardening here, so I can assume that that's the benefit of some manner of field mods. I don't know whether that's complete field mods, but it's a decent bit of field modification, so I'm guessing this guy's got a bit of experience in this vehicle. Also, immediately I'm seeing vents in the improved slot, the vert stabs, and improved aiming, as well as a vent directive. Now, improved aiming I consider moderately odd, because this thing has .33 accuracy, which is certainly not bad, particularly for a 127mm gun, pair that with a 2-second aim time, and improved aiming doesn't seem the logical piece of equipment. Then again, it is an auto reloader, so you can't mount a gun rammer, which does increase the viability of mounting equipment that would be lesser used on other heavies that can indeed mount a gun rammer and benefit from that additional 10% DPM. What I immediately realise as well is that he's got no HE shells. Let's go over the gun stats, shall we? 3.82 rounds per minute, 268mm pen with a standard APCR. That's lovely, and those things travel, what, 1,452 meters per second, very fast to the target, absolutely lovely. 325mm of pen with the heat, which is not bad heat shells, about middle of the road, really, for tier 10 heavies. But with HE, you got 127mm of pen. 640 alpha, those are good HE shells. Tank on the left there you might want to be aware of. Those are good HE shells. I mean, disadvantage, you get what? 756 meters per second shell travel time, which, ooh, this is, I thought he was holding fire there. I would hold fire. You don't clip out. You don't clip out this early in this circumstance. Let's talk about Rinoceronte principles, right? The Rinoceronte, what's the base reload? Come on, brain, you got this. So, first shell, 15.37 seconds, base reload. Second shell, 16.64. And you'll notice when I say this last number, 19.58. The greatest disparity there is between the second and third shell, right? You go from, what, 16.64 to 19.58. That's a huge jump. That's a huge, that's a loss in DPM if you fire the last shell. If you fire the first two, your reload doesn't change all that much. What, you've got a base DPM of 1,912.87? It only goes down to like 1,800 if you fire two shells. You fire the third shell, your DPM goes down to 1,500. Right? It's a big drop. So in the Rinoceronte, you only really want to fire the first two shells. Unless you need to. Right? Unless there's a very good reason for you to fire that last shell, do not fire it in the Rinoceronte. Just fire the first two, which I don't like you clipping out here. Not just because of that, but from a tactical point, you're very early in the game. There's a lot of help, there's a lot of angles, there's a lot of action. You don't want to be crippling yourself in this situation because you don't know whether you're going to need to make an engagement or whether you're going to want to be prepared for it. So, don't like you clipping out here, but I do think you're a bit unlucky to miss the show. Never mind. 490 alpha damage, rolling for 541 there. That's absolutely lovely. But now you gotta sit here. And grind through this reload. And there we go. One shell. And now loading the next one. This is Rinoceronte gameplay. And it's sad. It's very, very sad indeed. Let's go over statistics of the vehicle. 40 kilometers an hour top speed, 15 in reverse, horsepower per turn of 15.65 with a 700 horsepower engine. And yeah, 15.65 on a heavy tank. That's not bad at all. Connecting one, fire a second, and then leave it. Okay, there we go. Cool. Remember, only fire 2 shells in this tank. This thing weighs about 45 tons. 45 tons, that is not a heavy tank. Oh, Caliban here. Oh, that's love. Oh, that's... It was a bad shot, but I can understand why you took it. We've all taken shots like that. Ian would take a shot like that and then bitch slap himself for playing badly. Simpson would take a shot like that and then get set on fire and then bitch slap himself for playing badly. It's one of those shots that for the second you're depressing the fire button, it's a good shot, and then when the shot fires, it's a bad shot. It's a bitch. I'm not going to get on your back about that one. But only firing 2 shells. 15 in reverse. Let's see if you can get back in position. And now perhaps comes an appropriate time to talk about the armor of the Rinoceronte, which is something that's going to make you moderately sad if you were looking at this tank and thinking, oh, this looks really cool, this looks really dynamic, right? Oh, Rinoceronte, woe is you. So oddly enough, chat, the lower plate of this thing is 190mm base. Hull armor on paper, 125 at the front, 75 at the side, and 40 at the rear. On the turret, 210 at the front, 120 at the side, 120 at the rear. Now, the lower plate is 190, and the upper plate is 125. But because of the angles at which they are presented, you've got an upper plate that's about 250mm of armor, and you've got the lower plate that's about 230. That is not good. This is a tier 10 heavy tank. That is not... I mean, the 50B's got better... Well, I mean, the 50B's an outlier, but you take my point. And if you angle it like this goes down to about 220, somewhere around that. So hull-wise, it's really not imposing any sort of significance to most of the enemies that you're facing. Now, if we look at the turret, believe it or not, this armor, on this flat portion, this angled portion of the turret back here, this slope, used to be 190, I think. It's now 210. That was the turret armor buff that the Rinoceronte got. When it was 190, this area used to be about 280, 290mm of armor. Now it's 300, around there, effective. I mean, people are still just going to fire heat there and pan every time. And yes, because it is angled backwards, when the tank is using its 10 degrees of gun depression, that angle, that armor does get a lot better. But we have a lovely friend, a horn. This is what we call it, the horn of the Rhino. This is 120mm of base armor and is about 175 effective. And I doubt you'll see this in this game because we're on Nuremberg, it's a very flat map, but when this tank depresses its gun, this weak spot comes up with the gun, so it is never hidden, unlike weak spots on something like an M103, which are concealed, or an AMX M4 for the 54, which are concealed when you use gun depression. Here, that weak spot is also always presented. One last thing that's worth noting. The rear armor on paper is 40mm, and this plate here is 40mm, but let's note that this is 20. This is 20mm. I kid you not when I say if you're behind a Rinoceronte and you're in any tank that can meet this vehicle, you can pen a HE shell right here. So take that opportunity. Alright. Let's see what we can do. Oh no, my thingy's gone. Gonna have to fix that. Okay, cool. Loading back up to the first shell in the chamber. Getting that DPM up. What are we thinking? Oh, I mean, I like this, actually. For the time being, you've got health, you don't have armor, but you have fire, you have damage output potential. Now, this looks, from a map point of view, this looks really dangerous. But people like this Minotaur, this type, and this guy are kind of held or intimidated on the corner by the people that you've got out wide there. Particularly that Death Star, that Udes, the presence of the ship pack in this bush right there. People that are wider are threatening these corners and allowing you to occupy this position. So while using this area, what you really want to keep an eye on beyond the people in front of you is this, right? You want to know, does that Udes die? Because as soon as that Udes dies, as soon as that FV dies, them dying out there weakens your position here because it clears up this corner. So that's what you've got to be concerned about. Now, fighting a VZ and a Rinoceronte, that's an interesting dynamic. Taking one shell, Oh, it looks like maybe he had the stock gun there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did you do a bollocking? I think you did a bollocking. Hang on, let's run that back again, because he should have had 3 shells. Okay, so he's loading. He's loading. I think he did a bollocking. I think he fired just a tinsy bit before he's loaded. We all do it. There's some graphical glitches there, but yeah, he's got 1 shell. Does he? Oh, no. No, okay. It was just me misunderstanding how the Rinoceronte presents its shells. Never mind. So, yeah, it's something you have to be careful of, is finding like a 0.1 of a second before you load the next shell. It's a huge component of the skill requirement within this tank. And this is really nice. Wait until you're loaded, then go forward. Keep poking out that damage, but keep your DPM. Caliban, 35mm side armor. Don't give him the side shot for 3. Okay, cool. Alright, wait, patience. This is really good gameplay right now. Really good gameplay. I'm not sure about turning around. I really like pressuring this area right now. You've got corpses in front of you to go hold down, and you've got crossfire from the Blast, the Centurion 7-1 up above. I like the notion of exploring an engagement right here. Not only does it potentially keep you safe from someone poking out here or poking out here, as I say, it works with a crossfire with the people out here if you're spotting these guys. So I hope to see you explore an engagement here. We shall see. Okay, loading. I suppose one of the reasons you might not load HE in the Rinoceronte is it doesn't have a gargantuan amount of ammo. Which is a shame. Beautiful aiming for the side there. One of the tanks in the game, the 260, with 350 for the on-paper value of the turret armor. Bouncing off the front of the Rinoceronte there. Death Star's moving up. And at this point, this is no longer viable. This is no longer a viable shot to be taking. This is not valuable. In terms of, if you're looking at what has value right now, my positioning, my advancing to this corner and watching left, or my pressuring here, doing something else, is far more likely to result in a better outcome than sniping at this 260. Because he's got a Death Star moving up on him. He's not going to be pushing forward in this engagement. You're going to be sniping at a 260 hold down. You're not going to get damage there. You're just not. If you do, I will be very, very surprised. He's going to retreat into this corner, and he's going to try and engage the Death Star without engaging anyone else. So right now, your priority should be positioning. Most likely, moving up to this corner and trying to engage left would be my choice here. Or moving up to that corner and aiming at the 260. Minotaur there, poking out, potentially going to kill the Caliban. Okay, I really don't like engaging around this corner, but it seems like there's no one on the high. No one on the high. Lovely. That is a viable shot. Very seldom exploited weak spot there. Okay, now relax. Relax. There's no need to fire this final shell. You're not going to one-shot him. He can't pressure you. He can't pressure you because of the UDES out wide. Relax. If he wants to counter you, he takes a shot maybe on the UDES and then there's a one-shot. Then you can take the shot. Right? But now, do not take this shot. Do not take this shot. Lovely. Minotauro moving to the side. Are you going to have patience? Yes, indeed. Okay. Lovely. Oh, it must have been so tempting for that shot there. I do like you keeping those shells, though. One in. Tide bounces. Second shell. Okay, this is good. This is really good. Lovely bit of side sniping there. Or reverse side sniping to utilize the armor of this vehicle. Okay, now your last remaining ally. Oh no, you still got a Caliban there. Okay, so I was thinking this avenue had no one in it. If that was the case, then presenting behind this wreck here would be an idea. Right? Relocating back here, presenting in this position. Because then you've got the Crossfire, the Barask, and the Centurion down this alleyway if these guys want to encroach upon you. And you've got this UDES out there to cover this, to cover anyone coming behind you. That would be a strong position right there. And to be honest, I think it probably still is. Right? I think at this point, relocating behind this wreck here, inviting the enemy to push this area, is good. Because if they push, Crossfire from these guys. If they come down behind, Crossfire, we've got the Chrysler and we've got the UDES still hold down out wide. So I really like the idea of relocating mid and trying to exploit right now. Because honestly, if you look at priority right now, the priority is taking hit points off of the enemy. It's not really... Oh, wait. There you go. Wait until the shell's loaded, and then you get that shell. There's the Minotauro. You're not going to make that engagement. Okay. I don't know why the UDES has moved up. Oh, that's hurtful. That is really hurtful. That UDES moving forward has sacrificed a huge amount of the strength of this position. If the UDES was still out there, he watches this corner, he watches this corner, he watches this position, he watches the angle coming down here. Like, there's a huge amount of viability for that position in this situation. And by the UDES coming at... You don't want all of your tanks in one position. It's the principle of a multi-level engagement, right? You want to force the enemy to move overland while gaining as little as possible, right? Right now, they can pick up 3 kills in this position while exposing themselves to the damage of 3 tanks. If you put the UDES back there, the enemy, by moving through the same position, only pick up 2 kills, but are still exposed to the same damage of the same 3 tanks. As the concept of a multi-level engagement, so I really don't like the UDES moving out here. Now, how do you get the Barask and the 701 involved? Oh, unlucky to take it from the Minotauro there. How do you get the Barask and the Centurion involved? You can't engage a Minotauro hold down, because reasons. UDES so disappointed. Caliban going in behind. Do you wait for that as a playmaker? Wait, I didn't see that shot. Was that a hold down Minotauro? I did not see that shot. That's standard ammo. Let me have a look at this. So I'm mightily curious. Where did you put this? Where, oh where? Wow. That is very surprising. You get a pen there. Very surprising. Okay. At this point, you're dead. there's no recourse. With 15 kilometers an hour in reverse, you can't turn and run. The best thing you can do at this point is hunker down. Honestly, the UDES lost this engagement by coming from there to there. Pretty much a single-handed loss in terms of a positional standpoint by that UDES. Sacrificed so much power by turning it from a multi-level engagement into a single-stage one. So, at this point, you just gotta hope that you can get some... Oh, and that's... Oh, that's crippling. That is crippling. What do you do at this point? I mean, there's no recourse. There's really no recourse. I guess you just take what damage you can get here. Lower plate shot, decent. Decent attempt at coverage. Aim for the engine there. There's one thing you could have done is just a minor adjustment to the back, towards the fuel tanks, towards the engine of the Progetto, just in the hope that you get a fire, right? The fire status, if you think of a fire like a status condition in water tanks, it essentially makes your tank perform as if it has all crew members knocked out. So the debuff that you get from having a gunner knocked out, the debuff that you get from having a commander knocked out, the loader knocked out, the radio operator, being on fire essentially applies all of those debuffs for the duration of a fire. So in this case, targeting the engine, potentially, if he gets set on fire, it impedes his accuracy so much that he fails to connect his shot there. It's not likely, it's just the only thing you can do in a bad situation. Make no mistake, you were dead anyway. But still, 9,000 damage. Goddamn. Not a bad contribution by any means. And this Caliban, I don't imagine, has a shell for this E50. At this point, gonna get rammed. Gonna get rammed. Now, Centurion 5-1. Not exactly the tank you want to be in this situation. I mean, don't get me wrong, the 7-1 is absolutely lovely. That 105 Royal Ordnance Cannon, 268mm of pen with APCR, or 210 with the Hesh, and then 105 with its standard Hesh. But it's not got a large amount of DPM, which is troublesome when you're going up against multiple opponents, and it's not got heat, right? It's got Hesh. So your premium shells don't allow you to butter through a Type 4 or something like that. They're really good for dealing a huge amount of damage to lightly armored tanks, but in terms of dealing with an Amex M4 Liberté, a Type 4 Heavy, a Progetto 66, like, it's just not the tank you want to be in because of that limitation. You can see Tiger Dax there lamenting his 9k damage, going to result in a defeat most likely in chat, but quite honestly, I don't think there was a huge amount you could have done about that. I mean, it's all well and good me sitting here with the benefit of hindsight saying, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that. You know, snap decisions, very minor things can have big consequences, and they don't seem like they will at the time. I don't think there was any point in this game where I can look at it and say, yeah, this was the absolute game-losing scenario, apart from that UDES, which obviously is not in your control. If the UDES had stayed out there, I reckon this engagement would have been impossible for the enemy team to make. And I reckon the flank that came in from here would have had a far greater chance of being successful. I liked the aggression that you displayed throughout this game. I didn't like clipping out at the start, but throughout this game there was an appropriate amount of aggression. It resulted in 9k damage, some good positioning, some good shots, some luck and bad luck from both sides, but it was a pleasure to watch this game, Tiger Dax. So thank you very, very much. And if you would like to have your replay reviewed by me, then you can send it to replays.wallst@yahoo.co.uk, and I will put it on the list. We do commentaries every Wednesday at 6 PM, so if you're interested, you can check out the previous episodes or look forward to the next. You can hit the subscribe button and click the bell if you want to be notified when I upload these videos, as well as my more edited content on Fridays at 6 PM. Thank you very much, everyone, and best of luck to you all. Farewell.
Peabody, cheers from Germany, man. Thought I'd had a couple silly verses, my friend. He is a nice guy like Ned Flanders, but wielding a band hammer that make viewers feel him like a gang member, yeah. You better never ever shoot versus the man, cause that's a jerk of his hand, hence you're a permanent ban, yep. Like in a roleplay game, you wield a dagger but get smashed from